The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. This is Ken Krell. Welcome to today. I want to make sure that as we begin, you guys can hear me okay. So if you would, just do me a favor and pop in the chat. Tell me you can hear me, that our sound is good from here in the Philippines. So if you just pop in the chat real quick and let me. I don't think I can do this. Can I make you a panelist? Let's see if I'm able to do that. Let's see. Can you? Okay, Robert. Hey, Robert. How are you? So Robert's here. Good. It looks like you can hear me okay. Everybody else, just pop in the chat if you would here. This is where you get to participate, everybody. Okay. Good. I'm glad you're excellent. I've been hearing great things about you, my friend. So I'm really excited about hearing more details from you. So, all right, cool. Timothy says just fine. Okay, then let's rock and roll. We got a lot to cover today, and I am anxious to get started. So let's just go ahead and do it. So if you are ready, just give me a big yes, and we are off to the races. Ready? That's in the chat. You put the yes. Okay. All right, here we go. Thank you, guys. Okay, we're going to talk about, as you see on your screen, how to create and deploy high-impact content that attracts clients, gains trust, builds your powerful brand, and converts lurkers into rabid fans that will buy from you on command. Does that sound good? You guys ready for that? Ladies and gentlemen, my goal for you today is that you'll walk away knowing of the strategies you want to implement immediately to create a dependable, consistent marketing program that brings you prospects, clients, and customers that pay you forever, over and over and over again. How you feel about that? Does that work for you guys? Robert says, oh yeah, exactly. So what about you? How many of you would be jazzed if you walked away from our workshop today with a real plan on how to make content marketing work for your business? You guys good for that? Just pop in the chat, give me a yes. This will be a participative training today, my friends. Okay, all right. I'm seeing a bunch of yeses coming through. So thank you, Robert, Celeste, John, Lisa, Norman. Excellent. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Stephen, thank you very much. Timothy, thank you so much. Frank, excellent. I appreciate that. Okay, so some housekeeping as we move forward today. Number one, the time is for you today. So if you have cell phones going on, put them in the silent mode, please. Airplane mode is best for right now. If you have Skype going, put that on Do Not Disturb. There's stuff in the way. Just put it all to the side, because right now, for the next 90 minutes or so, we're going to make some giant changes, I think, in the way you consider doing your business. And really, I want to jumpstart you and really have you operating like the big guys are. So I want you to make the most of what this is. The chat that you see on your screen is the way that we get to communicate one-on-one. So just as many of you have already started typing in the yeses and the oh yeahs, and and that you hear me great and all that, this is the beginning of a long chat with you directly. So I want you to use that chat, ask us questions, join in as if we were having a one-on-one conversation. If I don't get your question answered immediately because I'm on another topic, we'll get all your questions answered by the end of today's presentation. So I want to make sure you're using that. All right. So let's get rocking and rolling here, guys. I do have a warning for you. And the warning is this. This is not for small thinkers. Oh, no. Nope. This is for you if you're going to think big, because I'm going to freak you out with some of the numbers you're going to see here today. So how many of you guys are okay with actually thinking big? And better yet, how many of you want to live big? Not just think big, but actually live big. You up for that? Do I hear an amen, brother? Robert, I know you are. Like I said, I've been hearing stories about you, and I'm very excited about what you're doing with Facebook ROE. So that's just absolutely fantastic. And what you're seeing today is going to take you to the next letter. Robert says his ears are burning. Okay, let's go. One other thing, by the way, as you all know, whenever there is usually a free webinar or webcast or whatever, there's usually an offer or some element at the end. And there's no surprise to this. So I want to make sure that I'm going to give you solid content over the next 90 or so minutes, and then we'll give you the opportunity to go ahead and move forward with us. But I'm going to make sure that you get solid content to be able to earn the right for that. So are you okay with that? If you are, that's fantastic. Just give me a big yes. Of course, you can blow me off and leave at any point, at which point, you didn't give me permission. That's fine. But I want to make sure we've earned that. So there we go. All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Let me also just quickly here take stock of something with you. Let me ask you a question, you guys. How many of you are thrilled and happy with your results from last year? How many are totally thrilled and happy with your results from last year? Let's see, Gina, let me see if I can get you fixed here. I have you set up. I cannot make you any more than, I can't make you an organizer, but let me see if I can unmute you. Let's see. There we go. There you go. Now I can do it. All right, excellent. Are you there? Gina, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
I am here.
Okay, good. Then we've handled the sound problem. Excellent. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So, guys, how many of you are thrilled? And I'm seeing not a lot of thrilled people here. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. You're not alone. Our studies, by the way, over the past few months have shown that as a group, you guys have been active anywhere from 1 to 6 years and more. So a lot of very active people. Unfortunately, so many of you have spent over $5,000 or more on online education and training. Most have spent like $4,000 to $6,000 or more. The really bad news, however, is that about 80%, and it's gone anywhere from 75 to 96%, have not been happy with the results that they've had with the thousands of dollars and the multiple years. Have I hit home? Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing, in fact, some of you are probably doing this right now. Here's the deal. What happened? What happened is that you focused probably on all the madness, but not on simply making money. Okay, not on simply making money. I'm seeing a lot of yeses and frowns and and I understand, right? So we're going to make some changes with that. We're going to make some absolute changes on that, because if you get caught up in all of the minutia, and I'm not saying that the little things don't matter, but I'm saying is it's all about focus. But if we focus on the main event and the main thing you want to achieve, then the madness gets out of the way. It's not as important anymore, because we're playing a much bigger game. How many of you guys are ready to play a much bigger game? Give me a I am. Okay, exactly. And yeah, Timothy, you're right. A lot of people taking advantage of you. Absolutely. And I'll tell you about one person today that had that same situation to the tune of over $100,000. So yeah, that's the big problem out there, and it creates a lot of skepticism. So here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what gives me the right to even talk about this? Well, first of all, for the past 30 years or so, and for those of you that aren't familiar with me, most of you know this already, I've trained thousands of people to make millions of dollars in real estate investments and in business. I've created and managed multi-million-dollar projects internationally, and I train live tigers. Okay, well, that part isn't really true. The tiger there that you see is actually a live, truly meat-eating tiger that roars and everything. And when you come visit me in Thailand, where I live, you'll get to come up to Chiang Mai and go to Tiger Kingdom, and you can get your picture taken with the tigers of every size while you're there. It's a preserve for tigers, and it's a really cool place. So it's all good. I like to climb tall buildings in a single bound. That's me climbing the Banyan Tree Hotel in Bangkok at 62 floors. It's a long way to go, but it's really great when you get to the finish line, and it makes it all worth it. There is a faster way. It's called the elevator, but it also doesn't exactly help your cardio. Point is this: I consult on business and development and financing for people all over the globe. I've assisted multi-million-dollar product launches. I'm the founder and executive director of the Institute for Totalpreneurship, where we help entrepreneurs become totalpreneurs, because totalpreneurs have it all, and that's everything: the lifestyle, the health, the family, the joy, all those pieces put together, which is what I want you to have in your life. And we've grown to where we've created iBoostify Solutions, which is a software company and a services company where we really help make business fun and take challenges and annoyances and make them go away. And it's been really exciting. We just came back from the Infusionsoft conference in Phoenix, where we introduced our Smart Mail product, and everyone is so incredibly excited about what we've done for making the Infusionsoft platform even more powerful. So very exciting about being able to be creative. And I want you to have that kind of excitement too. But all in all, I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur. I want you guys to be able to travel the world, do things that are fun for you, and live life on your terms. And if you're good with that, give me a big amen, because that's what I'm all about. With me today is our special surprise guest. This is a person who continues to inspire and surprise me and encourage me. We're business partners. We're friends. Ladies and gentlemen, That's not me. That's me, but that's not our special guest. I forgot about this slide. This is the whole business about lifestyle. We'll skip right past this over here and talk to you about Ms. Gina Gaudio-Graves. Gina is the dean and founder of Directors University, where she helps people find direction in their life and their business. Because once you have that direction, everything is possible. She is the co-founder of Duvisio, one of the coolest e-commerce platforms on the planet, and has been known as the JV Queen for many, many years. But frankly, I know Gina, frankly, as a sex symbol and humanitarian. Hello, Ms. Gina Gaudio-Graves.
Hello, Ken. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you, dear. Robert says amen to that, and hi, Gina.
Hello, Robert.
And Robert, Gina and I have been talking about you behind your back. She is very proud of you, and she's been reporting to me about what's going on. And we can't wait to be telling your case study next month, my friend. So very, very excited about what's going on for you. We have a lot to do today, and Gina is going to be with us on her iPad while we press on. Today, my objective for you guys is to create a multi-million-dollar, or a multi-six-figure rather, multi-million dollars is okay too, 2016. This is going to be, this year, guys, this is going to be your year of action. That means less learning and more earning. So many of you, I know, you spent so much money on training and education and all the things that you think you need, but frankly, for most of you, you have all you need already. You have all you need already. Now you just have to execute. You got to put things in action. So I'm not saying that you don't learn things. I mean, learn all you can, but don't let the learning get in the way of your progress of making money. Okay, let the money fund the future earnings. And if you need to learn something to achieve something specific, that's fine. Okay, are we clear about that? So this is the year of action. Action creates results. And that's momentum and results that we want you to have. Once you're in that place, you're unstoppable. You're absolutely unstoppable. Okay. Timothy's asking, how much money does it take? You know what? It depends upon what you're doing. I can tell you, Timothy, when I began my business with less than zero. I used a partner's money because I didn't have any. So the idea of what does it take really is dependent upon you. Okay. But I want you to be thinking big. See, here's the thing that gets people in people's way. They let money stop them. But at the end of the day, money is just a way of getting things achieved. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is, if you think you've got money issues right now, recognize the benefit that you can bring to other people and let them pay for it. Years ago, I was at a conference, and it was an event that was, I want to say it was like $5,000 to attend. And there was a guy that was there who didn't pay for it. And I was like, how'd you get in without paying for it? He said, I had 10 people. Give me $500 a piece, whatever the numbers were. But that basically, the bottom line was, people contributed to that. And what he agreed to do was bring them back a mastermind of everything he learned. And so it was paid for by others. So I want you to be thinking out of the box and thinking creatively. And do not, I repeat, do not let money get in your way. Are we okay with that, my friends? Give me a big amen. Okay, we are now in the church of financial independence. Okay, I got a lot of amens. That's great. Guys, your speed and size of profit is going to be based upon how aggressive you are. My father, many years ago, said something that you might consider irreverent. He said, and the meek shall not inherit the earth. At the end of the day, if you think your ship's going to come in, it may come near the harbor, but it sure as heck isn't going to come to the shore. You got to swim out to it. So what I need for you to do is absolutely, a lot of amens here, is be that aggressive. So what's it going to take? Guys, it's going to take simplicity. We need a winning system that you can explain to other people. If you can't explain it, it's too complicated. If it's too complicated, you won't do it. If you don't do it, you don't make any money. So a simple winning system is essential. Next, you got to have focus. Very clear focus, and then consistent action. That means that we're not going to do bright, shiny objects. We're going to pick a direction and we're going to go there. Now, if you know you're going to go to the store, you go to the store. You don't go to the racetrack, and you don't go to the golf course. You go to the store. You may find that you may have to take a detour along the way to get there. That's fine, but you got to be very clear about where you're going. Are we on board with that? All right. So one thing I want to make sure that we're very clear about as well is that results we're talking about today are not typical. Because we talk about typical, we talk about broke. Because the typical person doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, the typical person talks a good game and ends up doing nothing and makes tons of excuses. Do you want to be typical or do you want to be exceptional? That's it. You want to be exceptional. Good. So I'm going to show you what's working for our partners and our students and our clients. This is not get rich quick. In fact, one of the things I'm going to share with you is for the first 30 days or so of the system I'm going to share with you, you're not going to make any money at all. Now you may, Robert says he definitely wants, you are exceptional, Robert. You may very well make money in your first 30 days or so, but we're not going to forecast it at all, because that's when we're going to do the work below the ground, building the roots for your system. Okay. And then it all happens. Okay. So let's talk about content marketing, because this is all about building content and doing things a lot different than you may have done before. Content marketing involves creating and distributing content to attract customers, and it can be any kind of media online. What is content marketing? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not promotional. You don't sell, you engage, and you inform. This is not the megaphone marketing that you're used to seeing. This is about serving people. Oh my gosh. Yes, serving people. Okay, it's a very serious way of doing business that can make things totally fun. But when I say serious, it's serious about helping and adding value to people's lives. Okay, that simple. Because the more you give them, a number of things happen. You create reciprocity, which is a giant, powerful mechanism of creating wealth. But more than that, you position yourself as an expert that cares about people. And when you build that rapport, it's worth its weight in platinum. Okay, so what is content marketing? It's an ongoing process where you give a steady stream of content, and that content, we'll get into what it is in just a few minutes, that content can change people's worlds. Absolutely can change their worlds. Why should you care about this? Well, I'll tell you what. Number one is primarily how we consume information. We want information to give us guidance on what we can do and what we should be doing in our business and in our lives. So the more information we can give to people, the better. And by the way, it pulls them to us rather than pushing them away. And by the way, it's very, very inexpensive. I'll give you an example, which is something that I've been reminded about just the other day. And I've done this years ago. When I was in my early 20s, I had just recovered from a bankruptcy. I was 23, 24 years old and lost everything. I was in a small business and over leveraged myself and didn't speak up for myself. Was just, let's just say it was not a good thing, right? Bankruptcy at any age is not good, but back then it was like having industrial strength leprosy. So how did I rebuild? Well, I was in the real estate business and I became a real estate agent, and I had to promote myself. How do you promote yourself if you're broke? What I did was I approached the local newspaper and I started writing a real estate column for them for free, didn't get paid for it. And I wrote that real estate column every other week. And after like the first 2 or 3 weeks, they said, Ken, we can't have you do it for free. I said, okay. They said, we'll pay you. So I made $25 a week, which of course, helped buy, maybe a dinner. But the point is this, that column for the next few years fed me, because I added so much value that people saw me every other week. They were like, well, hell, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let's call him. And that thing made me so much money. It was great. So what you're going to be hearing about today is how to take that to the next level, totally to the next level. I still have copies of this. This is now like 30 years or so ago. I still have faded copies of the newspaper articles. I've started to scan them. So I have them so they don't completely disintegrate. But that's the idea. Very inexpensive. In fact, I got paid to create my marketing. How'd you like to get paid to do your marketing? Well, that's what happened, right? So some very interesting facts you need to know. Number one, that when you have a blog or some other kind of content, it's going to generate 97% more links to your site than just regular advertising will. 63% more influence from your content toward a buying decision than an advertisement. Why? Because it's editorial. It's being perceived as something of value, not of sales, but of content. There's a big difference in the mindset there. 70% of people prefer an article over advertising. And wouldn't you? An advertisement is designed to be manipulative, right? And to drive you to do something. And content or an article is not necessarily designed that way, although it may promote a concept. There's not usually a call to action in it like there would be in an ad. And trust me, there'll be calls to action on what you do here, but it'll be done in a completely different way. 60% of people have positive feelings after reading your content. Now, why would it only be 60 and not 100? because maybe the content that's been provided by some people isn't the high quality. High quality content is what we have to have, bottom line. And I got to tell you something. You've got your content quality needs to be consistent. There's a book I read a number of years ago on real estate investing and entrepreneurship by a brand name that you all know. And the first book was fantastic. It was excellent. So with great expectation, I read the second book that this individual wrote. It was trash. It was trash. And as far as I'm concerned, my personal respect for that person has not changed to this very day. Although this person is gigantically wealthy and incredibly successful, at least on a economic level, the cheapness with which this individual created the second book, couldn't trust him to go to buy the third or the fourth or the fifth, because he let me down. Okay, so you got to make sure that your content is consistent. Let's continue. 76% of chief marketing officers plan to increase their content marketing budget. 76% of them plan to increase their content marketing budget, and 72% of them believe that content marketing is the new SEO. Why? Because Google is looking for engaged content. They're looking for engagement of the content that you post. You can no longer stuff your articles with keywords and make it sound stupid just to game Google. They know better. They watch what you're doing. They watch the time people are on your website. They watch where they go, which is one reason why we created our site wrap software years ago, because we help Google see the level of engagement. It's giant, guys. It's absolutely giant. How does content marketing compare or traditional marketing compare to content marketing? We'll get a look at this. The bad news, 44% of direct mail is unopened. 86% of people skip TV ads, just like you and me, right? And 91% of people unsubscribe from company emails. What do you do? What do you do? You got to get them engaged some way, and that's by giving them value in any number of different ways, okay? $1 for every dollar spent on content marketing, you're getting 3 times the results as traditional marketing levels. That's a 300% increase by using content marketing rather than the traditional tell you what we're all about stuff, right? Content marketing costs approximately 62% less than traditional advertising as well. So this is why it's so important that you think differently and look at content marketing as a truly fundamental strategy to build your business. It's really, really that simple. So let's keep going here. We're going to create your content brand strategy. And I use the word brand here very, very seriously, because you're going to get to build your branding, build the relationship you have with your customer, depending upon how you present your content. I'll give you a perfect example. For those of you, how many of you guys, let me ask you this, how many of you guys have seen my videos in the pool, my pool videos? Just give me a yes in the chat. Talk to me. How many of you have seen my videos where I've shot the videos in my pool in Bangkok? Okay. Yeah, a few of you have. Okay. So here I am in the pool shooting video. Is that branding me? Sure. How did that brand me? Okay, Celeste does never. Well, they're out there on the interweb, Celeste. You'll see some more coming soon when I get back home, I promise. But when you see someone in a pool or in the ocean or whatever, what's it tell you? They're active, they're having fun. Celeste says, I can't wait. Thank you. But it was done for a lot of strategic purposes. It branded me and it branded the Totalpreneur brand that I could dispense great content, good information, be serious, but be in play mode, right? Or be in a playful environment where the lifestyle is demonstrated to the audience, right? So that's what I did. Now, is it for everybody? No. I have people that were offended by me in the pool and said that I wasn't professional and that I was nearly naked. I got news for those people. When you're in the pool wearing a bathing suit, you are nearly naked. So I guess they thought of me as a sex symbol. And I was flattered about that. But you're not going to reach everybody. So when you create your brand, create the brand that demonstrates who you are, that celebrates who you are. And then what we're going to do with that brand is that we're going to use that brand to leverage your business. So let's move forward here. And give me one fast second here. Can you turn the air back on? The timer turned it off. Thanks. Okay, great. So what's a content brand? It's how people view your content and view you as a content publisher. Okay, and again, it's all about the way you present yourself to other people. So content branding is going to be customer centric, all right? It's going to be revolving around your customer and the value that you give them. You're serving other people. It's not about you, it's about them. Your goal, of course, is to establish a really great reputation with them so that they know, like, and trust you, and that if you ever make a mistake, and trust me, you will, because you're human, if you do something stupid, they will forgive you. Okay, and that's when you build a good reputation, you can make a lot of goofs and still succeed. Okay, I want to be sure that you recognize that because you are human, as I am. I made many mistakes over the years, and the lucky thing is that I built up enough brand equity that if you do fall short on something, you're forgiven because people recognize that you are really that good and you care about people, right? So it's that caring. The old quote of, I only want, I just lost the quote, so I'll just keep going through it. It was great. I don't care how much you know, I want to know how much you care. So that's what it's all about. To me, branding your content is showing that you care about other people. So there are 5 keys to building timeless content brands. By the way, how are we doing so far? Is this good for you so far? Is this helping? Okay, excellent. All right, so the first thing we got to do is understand your customer. And you may think, thanks Celeste, you may think that you understand your customer. But unless you ask your customer what they want and who they are, you have no clue. Honestly, you have no clue. You may think that you know because you know, but at the end of the day, you really don't know unless they tell you, unless you ask. Steve Jobs is one of the few people that I'm aware of who understood his customer to such a degree that he wouldn't ask them what they wanted because they would lie, not intentionally, but they would see things that just weren't there. And Steve got people to do things that he knew were better for them. Well, there aren't a lot of Steve Jobs out there. So ask them. There's the strategies with which to do that. If you read Ryan Levesque's book, Ask, that will give you a great tool to learn how to best ask your customer. There's strategies that will make sense for that. So understand your customer, learn what they want. One of the great ways of doing that is to look, by the way, at complaint logs. Look at where people are whining and complaining. It's a great way to find out where their pain points are. Okay, so great way to do it. Next, you got to serve their needs. And again, unless you understand them, meaning you've achieved issue number 1, you can't possibly meet their needs. So learn what they need and give it to them. With our software for Infusionsoft, for example, I knew, partially because I'm a user of Infusionsoft, but also because we've talked about it and customer support people have told me this, that Infusionsoft right now, they cannot send email by time zone. So if you send an email out at 9 o'clock in New York, it's going to get to Los Angeles at 6 a.m. when people are sleeping. It's going to get to Australia at about 9 or 10 p.m. in Sydney, depending upon time, when the time changes. Again, not the optimum time to get a message out. So we created software called SmartMail that allows people to get email delivered at 9 a.m. all over the planet, or 10 a.m. or whatever time they want. It meets the time where you are. We met their needs. Very successful. People are excited about what we've done. So that's what I want you to do. Meet their needs. Be consistent. If you think you're going to drop a blog post every now and then, don't do it. Don't even bother. Okay? Be consistent. Now, yes, you're going to say, Ken, but I'm consistent in my inconsistency. That's great if you're a brand name and people are like excited and waiting for you. But you don't build brand equity with people that really don't know you by occasionally delivering content. Your content plan has to be consistent. And if you say you're going to put something out every week, then have it come out every week. If you say it's going to be out every Tuesday, then you better darn well have it out every Tuesday. If you say it's going to be out Tuesday morning, then have it out every Tuesday morning. Okay? You've got to be consistent. And again, don't make inconsistency your consistency, okay? People should be depending upon you, all right? And that's how you win, when you are consistent, okay? Build that habit. Next, you want to build authority, okay? Giant key here. As you come up and put out your information, people will recognize that you're an expert. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint, because I know some of you are probably saying out there, but wait a minute, Ken, I don't know anything. Or I'm not ready yet, or I'm just starting a new area and I'm a newbie. Now, I don't like that word newbie. I prefer the word novice. But at the end of the day, if you simply bring experts in and you curate experts' information, by virtue of the fact that you've done the work to curate it by putting it on the walls of your museum, if you will, you are known as a great curator, and you're attached just emotionally to that information. You build giant authority. If you have an interview show, for example, or an interview podcast, you now become a celebrity. So I recommend, think about this for a second, and I can't believe I'm using this guy as an example, but if you think back to the old days of television in the United States, to the Ed Sullivan Show. Ed Sullivan was not, at least on his program, I don't know much about it, but I've never seen Ed Sullivan entertain. I've seen Ed Sullivan host a lot of people, but he was one of the most popular TV people of all time because he curated acts. Okay, so build authority. Next, always, 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 without fail, have top quality. You don't want to be like that book author that just had such crappy quality that I would never read another book that he produced, and wouldn't trust him to have the integrity to deliver. Okay, so you always want to have top quality. Really important. Any questions at this point? Any comments? Gina, you want to add anything to this? Okay, she may have stepped away. She may have muted. Okay, so let's keep going. Everyone's good. All right, so let's keep going. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, that's great. Thanks, Timothy. That's great. But what the heck do I create? What do I do? Well, there's 6 main types of content you need to create. Okay, you want to start taking some notes here if you haven't already. The first one, probably the most obvious to you, is text content. That's informational blog posts, articles, social media updates, and there's tons of different types. Here we go. You might want to do a screenshot of this one because I'm going to go kind of quick. There's the step-by-step text. There's content. There's tips and basic information and news feeds and lists and case studies. People, by the way, love lists. The top 7 ways to find your dream lover. The top 7 ways to kick cancer. The top 7 ways to drive traffic to your website. Follow what I'm saying? Case studies, interviews, ebooks, reports and white papers. We love reports and white papers. We use them a bunch. We have an email delivery white paper that we give to people for being part of our smart mail. Okay, then there's visual content, and visual content is not video. It's just things you're going to see, like photographs and illustrations and infographics. People love infographics, and the memes that you see on Facebook all the time, comics and slideshows. Slideshows are giant. That's why LinkedIn bought slideshare.com. Okay, so visual content can be giant for you. Then we have audio content. Audio content would include podcasts and audio from webinars. If you took a recording of a webinar, for example, that you've done, that's now a downloadable audio. And I got to tell you, I use audio all the time because I walk a lot. So I listen to the audio rather than watch video. Okay, narrated articles, interviews, all these things can be audio only. And then, of course, we have video. Video means for demos and tutorials, video for brand documentaries, promotional videos, product demos, case studies and testimonials, behind the scenes. People love behind the scenes stuff. Oh my gosh. I see a lot of Broadway shows have done this on YouTube where they've shot some stuff backstage. People eat it up. Webinars or presentations, just like this one, for example. Interviews that are done by video. So you'll see video podcasts and audio podcasts, event videos, video logs or video blogs called a vlog, and there's now Vine, Blab, and Periscope for a lot of the instant video that's translated all over the web. Video content, giant, you guys, giant. And then there's the interactive content. Interactive content would involve surveys and quizzes and contests. People play, they actually participate. And surveys are fantastic. People always want to know what is my sex symbol quotient, or how long will I live with my current lifestyle, or whatever. I'm going blank now on some of the other things that you've been surveyed or quizzed on, but you get the point. And the cool thing is that people will fill that out, and then they'll even opt in to get the results. So it's a great way to build lists. Okay, apps are another good one. Social media groups and infographics with links in them. So you take a static infographic and you let it be clickable so people can go to a website or get pop-ups on the screen, or just some way to get them involved. And then the power and magic of stories. What I want you to think about is using William Campbell's The Hero's Journey. He wrote The Hero's Journey, and frankly, if you think about what The Hero's Journey is all about, just think about Star Wars, the story of Luke Skywalker, and that's The Hero's Journey altogether. You got to create the proper setting, the character, the conflict that the character is going to have, and the resolution of the conflict at the end of the story. Let me tell you, stories are among the most powerful way of delivering content, but are also among the most powerful ways of persuading people to do things that you want them to do, because people get engaged about stories. I got to tell you, it's amazing. And the better storyteller you can be, the more money you're going to make, plain and simple, truly. So how do we power this sucker up? Number 3 for you, Eric, let's see. Number 3 is audio content. Okay, so podcast, audio from webinars, narrated articles, interviews. Okay, that's audio. Very good. Thank you. So how do we put it all together? How do we power it up? Well, with 3 different concepts, right? First thing we're going to do is we're going to leverage content. We're going to take the content that we have and we're going to leverage it by turning it into new things. In other words, we're going to repurpose it. We may take a video blog post, for example, spin out the audio so it now becomes an audio blog post. We'll transcribe it and make it into an article or a blog post, or put a few of them together into a report and make a book. So one piece of content can grow into 15 different types of content. Next, we're going to leverage the reach of that content. So you may put a video up on YouTube, for example, but we'll take that video, and that video could go into Vimeo or other places as well. I'll get into more detail on that in a second. And then we're going to leverage your engagement, and that's super duper important. What we do a lot of is we do a lot of engagement in Facebook, and our Facebook ROE, Facebook Return on Engagement service, does that brilliantly. So the objective is to get people talking to you, and better yet, get them buying from you. But right now, the objective is to get like the first date. It's not to get the home run, it's to get the first date. So let's dive in a bit deeper. Okay, we're going to leverage our content right now. When you leverage your content, again, as I said, that one piece of content, whether it's a blog post or an infographic or a meme or an article, whatever it is, can be put into so many different formats. So, for example, blog articles can become aggregated and to be put into an ebook. They can then be narrated and put into streaming audio. You can create a video out of it. You can take segments and do PDFs, presentations and slideshows. You can take images out of it or put images in it. You can create infographics, case studies, status updates, news feeds, podcasts, reports, white papers, press releases. Do you get the point? I mean, oh my gosh. One piece of content can fill almost all of those little boxes. And that's just some of them, okay? The power that you now have is exponential when it comes to letting your content speak for you. You can be all over the web. And remember something very important, you guys. People consume content in different ways. So someone like me is video oriented. So I'm going to be much more susceptible to watching a video, okay, than just listening to an audio. Okay, I usually only listen to an MP3 audio if I'm walking down the street. You put me down and sit down in front of an audio, I'm sleeping inside of 5 minutes. I can't do it. But video, oh yeah, I'm visual, so video works for me. See, so think about all the wonderful ways you can take and repurpose what you're currently using, right? And what happens is that one piece of content is going to start to look like this. So your one piece of content can go big or small depending upon how we're going to play it. And again, it's genius. It really makes tons of sense. Then, once you have created and amplified that content, leverage that content, let's leverage the reach of that content. So as I said, if we're going to be posting content onto one blog, for example, let's look at posting it elsewhere. Let's go to LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and, well, all the different places you see on the screen. And by the way, we're talking about just a handful of them. Our average client will go to 30 different platforms that are relevant to his or her business, but we'll gust up to 65 or more depending upon how aggressive that they want to be. Imagine taking a couple pieces of content, converting it into 30 or 40 different postable pieces and having it all over, from CloudFront to Cloud to Dailymotion to Wistia to, I mean, you name it. That's power. Can you see the leverage of that? I mean, it's huge. Well, from here, we now go to leveraging your engagement, and that is gigantic. So people are going to see you, and let's just use Facebook as an example. They're going to see you on Facebook, and now you'll be encouraging them to talk to you, right? Just like I've encouraged you to be in the chat. So what I want you guys to do right now is pop in the chat and give me a big yes if this has been helpful for you so far. Just give me a big yes. It's important. I want to demonstrate something. So pop in the chat right now and give me a big yes. Every one of you, please. Okay. All right. So give me a big yes. Thank you, Raymond. Okay. Timothy says I see the power of this. Robert says yes. Celeste says awesome. Joe says yes. Eric says yes. Robert's in capital letters. Eric and Robert both have said yes. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, you guys. Now, what just happened? Engagement's what just happened. I asked a question. You answered the question, and then I responded to each and every one of you individually. Now, the idea of content leverage is that we get the online phone to ring, if you will. Okay, people will post questions or comments or whatever. Generally, if you're talking about Facebook, for example, on your Facebook wall or on your Facebook fan page, and what are you going to do? You're going to respond to them immediately. Okay, you or your team will do that. You'll respond to them immediately. And when you respond to them, what's going to happen? They're going to respond back to you probably. And by the way, your responses should encourage a response back so that the engagement continues. What happens when people see that? What's going to happen next? They're going to watch. They will lurk. And then some of them will actually participate, especially the more you make it easy for them to do that. Exactly. They'll reply. Robert, you know this very well because you're using Facebook ROE. So that then builds your fan base. People love that you respond to them. This is not a set it and forget it game, you guys. This is a relationship. You can't just like have a baby, then set it and forget it. Okay, you got to build and grow with that. And that's what your relationship with your customers are. You can't just have a customer, get the customer in and forget about them. And a lot of online marketers do, which is pretty shameful. But we want the people to talk to us so we can talk to them. Okay? So I want to introduce you to somebody that I think will inspire you to jump in. You ready to meet somebody interesting? Who wants to meet somebody interesting? Better yet, let me ask you a question. Who wants to create a best-selling book and make a seven-figure income? Who's up for seven-figure income? Give me a big I am. Oh, yeah, says Robert. Celeste says I do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, seven-figure income. Gina, you want to see people making a seven-figure income that are on this webcast?
I absolutely do.
I thought you might. So let's introduce them to Robert. Not Robert, our Robert, or Robert G that's with us on this workshop. Let's introduce you to Robert Coorey from Australia. Here's Robert. Robert is a very interesting gentleman. Robert has been a sales manager. He was a consultant, not a high-profile guy. He went from sales manager to sales and marketing manager, then consultant. And during his year of struggling to be a consultant, understand something. When you're a consultant, you don't have steady income. You go from client to client, okay? So it was not consistent. But he saw an opportunity. He wanted to create a book. So he wrote his book. It wasn't launched, but he created this book, and the book is called Feed the Starving Crowd. Based upon his sales efforts. Okay, so here's the challenge. He had this book and not a whole lot else. He had the dream of making it into a bestseller. And get a load of this: he didn't have a sales funnel. So we had to work with him on this. And what we worked with him on doing, and by the way, my organization, we've teamed up with some amazing content experts. So when I say we've done this, our team has created this. All right. Without a funnel, took the book, okay, and created a funnel for him, with him. It began, listen to this, with a free ebook. So the book became an ebook. It was just and then it was downloadable, but then it was also free with shipping, which he's still offering here. Created an online training, which is a $1,000 product, and then a done-for-you service, $10,000 a month. So each client there is $120,000. Now, is that an aggressive funnel? How many of you guys are thinking, holy mackerel, I would love to have a funnel like that? How many people would like to have a $10,000 client per month? Oh, yeah. See, this is not about the $7 tripwire leading up to the $49 this to the $295 that. No, this is about making significant money and leveraging it well. Robert says, oh, yeah. So that's what we did. That's what he created. Now, in order to make content marketing work for him, which is really what did this for him, what made his money, and I'll share those results in a second, let's leverage his content. What did he have? He had the book. He also had a Facebook fan page, and he had a few posts on it. That was it. Well, with that book, and he, by the way, Robert was completely aggressive. When I talk about Money Loves Speed, this man was all over that. He wanted his bestseller. He wanted it now. How many of you want the results now? Okay, can I get one like that today? Yeah, right? Thanks, Eric. So anyway, make a long story short, the book, the fan page, a few posts came into, get this, 187 content-rich assets. Okay, those are the pieces that we leveraged that could then be posted all over the interweb. Boom. That took him to the next place. Yeah, the universe loves speed. Absolutely. So guys, what happened next? We then decided to go and leverage the reach. We put that out to over 65 different outlets. He actually went up to 85 of them. We wouldn't take him to more than 65 now, but he was super, super, super aggressive. You ready for the results? Here they are. Get a load of this. He generated nearly 12,500 visitors. He created over 3.6 million impressions coming to his website. And after 4 months, he was generating an annual income of over $500,000. Now, think about this for a second. You don't need to have a whole lot of clients to do that when they're paying you 10 grand a month. Okay, one client at 10 grand a month is 120,000 bucks a year. He generated, wow, yeah, Robert, that's the whole idea. After a year, he's making over $1 million a year, multi at this point. And you know what it took to do? You know what his investment was? About 40 grand. 40 grand to generate a 7-figure business within a year. How many of you guys would spend, if you had 40 grand, or would find a way to take 40 grand? Is it a good deal to do $500,000 in 4 months? What kind of ROI is that? How many of you, if you knew you could do this, would find 40 grand somewhere? Okay? If not in your bank account, if not in your IRA, you'd find somebody and raise 40 grand to generate that. How many would do that? I would. Yes. Exactly. That's my point. Who are my think big people here? You guys are. Of course you would, Eric. Absolutely. All of us would. So that's the whole idea. When you have something people want and you provide value, they will play with you. And we want to build as much as we possibly can. That's the idea. Okay. Let me then introduce you to somebody else very interesting. A similar story, different entity, different environment. And by the way, Robert's based in Australia, and his book's still available. If you go to feedastarvingcrowd.com, you can go buy the book. And I believe you can also download it for $1 or something on Amazon. Okay. Anyway, he's got a really beautiful website now, which we help with. Here's Marni the Wing Girl. And you can go to Marni's website. I think it's called the Wing Girl Method, and actually watch her on this video. She's adorable. But more than adorable, what does she do? What she does is she helps guys meet girls and become successful at it. Who better than a girl to teach you how to meet and date girls? So that's what Marni does. Now, here's the thing about Marni. Okay, Marni was in business for 10 years. She had her own website, doing pretty well. A single mom, by the way, 10 years in the business. But Marni got, I would say, complacent. She got a bit bored, and her traffic and income went down. I mean, down, from a 17% or $17,000 a month average down to below $10,000 a month. And mind you, she's been in business for 10 years. She had a really thriving business. Okay. The other thing she had, by the way, was a thriving, a large content library. After 10 years of providing content to guys, she had a whole lot. And she had virtually no engagement. People were falling off, dropping like flies. They bought 2 or 3 items from her cart, and that was it. So there's a challenge there. What's going on? Marni decided she would try and bring in some help. She built a $40,000 platform, which did not work. One of you said earlier that you're used to getting ripped off. Yeah, that was one of them, but that didn't stop there. She spent $100,000 on consultants with no results. Okay, can you relate to that? She threw away $150,000, nearly $150,000 thrown away. Yeah, how would you like to have $150,000 to throw away, right? Well, Marni came to us to have us help her. Okay, she provided us with 100 keywords. Within 6 months, we generated that into 10,000 keywords that she could use to market. But better than that, let me share with you what she did. Okay, she provided us with 35 original assets. These are things that came from her blog posts and content from her site. She had a lot to play on. Okay, we turned that into 613 rich content assets. Okay, we generated those 35 items grew to 613. Giant, right? Put it out on over 60 channels, and that turned into, guys, over 5,000 posts, over 5,000 places online where her content would be seen. With that done, she got a 51% increase in her profit, okay, on her social media profit, right? She had a 101.5%, oh yeah, this is all statistics here, increase in her engagement on social media. All that was done within a week. Within 1 week. We went in and we looked at everything and restructured her. Kapow, right? Marni's current revenue right now, between $20,000 and $25,000 a month, depending upon the month. Some of her business is a little bit seasonal. She pays a management cost, $6,000 a month, to run the marketing side of the business, which brings her monthly profit to anywhere between $14,000 and $19,000 a month. Let's just call it $14,000, which means her annual profit is $168,000. How many of you would like to effectively do nothing and make $168,000 net? Not bad, right? What is Marni doing now? That's her. Well, that's not really her feed. That's a demonstration of her. Marni's not active in the business. Our team is actually running the marketing for Marni's site, and she's just doing her life, taking care of her own personal stuff right now. Okay, Robert says, count me in. Absolutely, Robert. That's the name of the game. So imagine taking the stuff that you guys are posting now on Facebook, for example, turning that into and repositioning that, leveraging that and moving forward. That's the whole idea. Okay, that's the whole idea. It really is pretty giant. It really is pretty giant. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, real engagement begins and ends with great content. It's the content that makes sense. Now, what we said earlier, I want to remind you about something before we go further, because there's something I neglected to tell you. All right? I showed you Robert's funnel. I showed you the $995 leading up to the $1,000, leading up to the 10 grand a month. But one of the things that made a giant difference for him, that enabled him to be able to create that wealth, was that because he was all over the webosphere and the blogosphere and the content sphere, if you will, he started to become invited to speak both on radio, on TV, as a keynote at meetings all over Australia. So he was able to sell on those media. Now, by the way, if he was doing a keynote at a Rotary Club, he wasn't like going, buy my book. But he very easily sold tons of those books by being able to talk about chapters from within the book. If you want to learn more, it's available at Amazon. Want to learn more? Just let me know. I'll hook you up. Want to learn more? Here's some books. Just give me $5 a book or something, whatever. So you don't have to do a high pitch. Great content wins, and he's now a celebrity, effectively. Okay, so that's the beauty of this thing. That's the beauty of this thing. Everybody following that? Has this been helpful so far? It's all about the leverage. Exactly. It's all about the leverage. Guys, you know what the key to your success is? It's a toothbrush. It's a toothbrush. Why on earth would I tell you that the key to your success is a toothbrush? What does that metaphor mean to you? Why is that toothbrush so important? It's a serious question, by the way. Okay, it's a serious question. Why do you think that? What does that toothbrush mean? Have it, use it every day? You betcha. It's about having continuity and consistency. I said that at the very beginning. Every day, you darn well better be brushing your teeth at least twice a day if you want to have any kind of relationship with anybody on the planet, right? Okay, and you want to keep your teeth, right? You got to brush your teeth at least twice a day, preferably floss too, right? But that toothbrush is a metaphor for that. If you follow it every day and turn it into a habit, you will be successful. But most people don't have that level of dedication. They don't have that level of discipline. They just don't do stuff. I want you to hit the easy button and grow logically. Now, by the way, everything I've shown you, you can do yourself, right? You can take a blog post and you could go ahead and you can do an audio of it. You can create a PowerPoint presentation, narrate it, and turn it into a video. You can take some notes, stand in front of a camera someplace and talk it out and create a talking head kind of video. You can hire somebody on Fiverr to turn it into a cartoon video. And now I've lost track of how many different things you can do. You can do all this yourself, okay? But it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort and get in the way of where I really want you to be focusing, which is on the strategy of building your actual business itself. So here's how you're going to do this. You're going to start small. That is correct. You're going to start small. Okay. Oh, Robert says it was 8 days a week. Yeah, right? Okay. You'll start small. You're going to think big, and you're always going to think big. You're always going to think big. All right. And then you're going to scale consistently. So start small, think big, and grow it. Grow it, grow it, grow it. In fact, let the profits pay for the growth, okay? So that way you get to tip your toe in the water, but you tip your toe in a way that's going to make results happen for you. Isn't this great? Can you see yourself doing any of this right now? Can you see yourself in this position where now you get yourself branded and positioned as an expert where people are watching you and reading you and commenting and engaging you and saying to you, what can I buy from you? What do you got? What's up next? Thank you. Exactly, Celeste. I appreciate that, right? Let me introduce you to Cisco Systems. I would say that probably a bunch of the technology that's getting this webcast to you right now is being facilitated by Cisco, okay? Very big company. Guess what? They're one of our clients, okay? Cisco, a lot of corporate clients we have. Cisco brought us just 3 original assets. That's it, just 3. But those 3 were significant enough that we could turn into 113 rich content assets and put it all over the blogosphere and the webosphere, okay? We used over 50 channels, and those 50 channels generated to over 2,500 different instances where people could actually access that content. Now, if you did the math of 50 times 113, that's going to be a whole lot more than 2,500. But you got to remember something, that a video let's say a blog post isn't going to get uploaded to YouTube. Okay, so it would have to be turned to video, and a lot of our content doesn't fit each other's platforms. So just doing the math of assets times channels are not going to equal the end there. If anybody wondering why that math doesn't work, that's why. Okay, so what about you guys? Oh, wait, before I even get to that, imagine the power of this for a nonprofit organization. Do you think that the nonprofits out there that are trying so desperately to raise money for whatever cause they have could use this? Well, it gets even better, my friends, when you understand that the boys and girls at the Googleplex have money for them. Google has a grant program, and they will get you free advertising and real and significant grant money. Google has a whole lot of money to play with, and for qualified nonprofits, they will spend money on you. That's huge, okay? So, if any of you are involved with a nonprofit, let us know because we have a nonprofit version of this that can absolutely turn that nonprofit from desperate to deep in cash. I used to be the executive director for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in Massachusetts many years ago, and I can tell you it's hard work to do a lot of bowl-a-thons and dance-a-thons and this-a-thon and that-a-thon. But if we can find a way to work more smartly and provide content marketing to bring in the money that's needed for the work that you're doing, whatever that work is, holy mackerel. So just keep that in the back of your head. That's giant, right? So what about you? What about you? What would it mean to you to have an extra $10,000 a month coming to you right now? And that's just for starters, okay? Would that change anything for you? Yeah, I see that. It will absolutely. Guys, what's a consistent 6 to 7 figure income worth to you? Okay. What's it worth to you in your time, in your freedom, in your lifestyle, in your income? Okay. In your pride and confidence? It's priceless, isn't it? Okay. It's priceless. So what have we learned so far today? We've learned, number one, you got to be bold to succeed this year. We've learned that you got to diversify your marketing. We learned that continuity is critical, both to your income and your activity. Super critical. And you learn that solid systems will help you win consistently and that's your marketing strategy and your analytics. All of this is so very important and fundamental. It's that continuity, it's that consistency that will win every single time, because the average person isn't doing anything. And the average person that does something stops after a while. So for you, you got to be the Energizer Bunny and stay strong. Now, again, as I showed you, you don't need to create tons of content. Even if you created 3 or 4 pieces of content, that can be repurposed into a ton of different assets that can make you a lot of money. So, question, would you like us to help you? Would you like us to help you? And the answer I'm saying is yeah. When do we start? Okay, let me share with you what we're talking about. Okay, I want to introduce you to the Content Leverage Lab. The Content Leverage Lab. What do we do at Content Leverage Lab? Everything that we just talked about, we do for you. There's only one thing we don't, and we can, but we'd rather not, and that is creating the actual content that we repurpose. What we want you to do is this. We want you to give us 4 original assets each month. And those assets could be a webinar recording, it could be an article that you wrote, it could be an interview that you did with somebody, whatever. I don't care what it is, but give us 4 assets. If you don't have any assets at all, guess what? We will help you create the assets. Okay, and we'll tell you more about that in just a little bit, because I'm going to let Gina talk about that because it's really cool. Then we're going to take those assets and we're going to repurpose those assets into multiple formats and create 69 content-rich assets. So we'll turn that 4 into 69. We'll then post it up to 30 different channels, generating for you nearly 300 instances online where it will show up, posted in video, posted in audio, posted on a blog, wherever it happens to be. We'll take those 4 assets and get them out there nearly 100 times, actually 75, whatever that is. I can't do the math now, but a lot, right? Now, what will happen with that? What will happen when you're out to over 290 different places? Well, let me tell you something. All hell breaks loose. You start making money. You start getting engagement. You start having a lot more fun. The dreams that you've had start coming true. Can I hear an amen for that? Right? That's what happens. So, guys, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to professionally repurpose your content to create multiple content assets, okay? Just like we showed you earlier. We're going to distribute those assets up to 65 different content channels. And the number of channels depend upon what program is best suited for you, okay? And where you go, but gradually as you go. Eric says, I'm ready to start having fun. Darn right, my friend. Next, we're going to amplify and multiply the reach of those assets so that they're exponential. They're all over the place. We want you to be seen. Think about this for a second. If people see you everywhere, does that say something about you? Yeah, it says that you're everywhere and that you're a force to be reckoned with. Okay, the more they see you, the more they're going to buy from you. Then with the engagement side of things, we're going to increase page likes by real people, by the way, who are actually interested in being your fans. We're going to bring people on board that are really interested, not the Fiverr people from the Stan countries, Pakistan, Akistan, Yakistan, We're talking about people that are like United States and Australia and New Zealand and the UK and, people that are going to buy your stuff, interested in being your fans. We're going to post engaging content through content curation and landing pages and content from your site and so on. We're then going to go ahead and post some of your pieces designed for engagement and give you actionable status updates bringing people back to your site, to landing page, your blog content, and so on, okay? We're going to answer basic questions in chat with your people, okay, when they comment. And we're going to do it quickly because Facebook actually monitors the time frame when people respond. You're going to get more engagement with posts that are not boosted because of the engagement value. And by the way, because things are engaged, Facebook will be very, very favorable for you. Okay, and by the way, if people have hard questions that we can't answer, so like let's just say that you're a dentist and someone's asking about dental surgery, we can't answer that question, so we'll take the question to you. So yeah, I actually have to do something there. But boy, oh boy, that's like us saying to you, hey Billy, I got someone who wants to give you money. Would you talk to them? What are you going to say? Of course, because they're asking something specific. When they ask specific questions, those are buying signs. We'll send you those people so you can take care of them directly and convert them into a sale. That's just for starters. There's so much more that we do, but that's a lot, isn't it? Okay, guys, We want you to do the stuff you're good at, and then we will do the heavy lifting directly for you. Okay? It's really, really that simple. Now, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But at Content Leverage Lab, that's what we do. So, and again, you can do it yourself. It's just that it's going to take you 8 days a week to do. It's going to take you, a ton of time and energy, and there may be some expertise you don't have just yet. You may not be good at putting videos together like our team is. You may not be great at doing voiceovers. I mean, there's just things like that we do on a regular basis. This is a $30,000 plus value. It totally is, no question about it. But what we've decided to do is put it together. We're doing it in a quarterly fashion because you got to understand that the first month is really putting it all together. It's like building the root system to your tree. All right. So it is a $9,997 quarterly tariff for this, plus a one-time setup fee of $497. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. But don't freak out yet. Remember, I want you to thinking big. So just stay with me and think big and think millionaire, and we'll continue on with this, and you'll see why this is something that's absolutely phenomenal and worth far more than what you'll ultimately be paying. Okay, here's how it's going to work. In the first month, you're going to give us those 4 pieces of content. We're going to work on repurposing them and creating the new content that will be posted. So the first month is really all about ramping up your system, and that's super duper important. And we'll work with you to do that so it's specific to meet your needs and your goals. So don't count on making $4 million in your first month. It is not going to happen. In month number 2, you're going to give us 4 more pieces of content. We will be working on deploying the first 69 pieces that we created in the first month. So they'll be starting to go out all over the web to those 30 different places, right? And then we'll begin repurposing the next 4 that you gave us. So you see what's happening now. We're beginning a cycle where one month loads on top of the other. In the third month, now we start making money because those 69 items have been put all over the web and over in 30 or more places, and now they're starting to attract people to us. We're engaging with them, and they'll be converted into profit. Now, some of these numbers you may start seeing some deployment coming out in the first 2 weeks. But generally speaking, we're looking at 1 month to 2 to 3, which is why we're doing a 3-month program for you right now. And remember that on the 3rd month, we're repurposing and deploying the new content for the 2nd month as well. And then in month 4, the beat goes on. It's consistently going on. So you see how the continuity and the consistency works, and it builds. It goes from there. So each month, you guys, what's happening is that we're repurposing and creating new content. We're deploying that new content, and we're attracting the profit to that new content. All that's happening because it is a cycle. Do you see what I'm talking about here? So it's really working like a machine. It really is like a machine. So what would it mean for you? What would change in your life if you suddenly had a thriving business that threw off massive cash for you every day, every week, every month, right? Pretty giant, right? It changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. Guys, this blows away the typical novice marketer model. It totally does. I want you to understand something. When Robert from Australia put his book out, people didn't know who he was. He was a sales manager consultant trying to make a living. But now he's been on TV and radio. He's a celebrity. And as a novice, he didn't do a whole lot of online marketing. He needed help. So this blows away all of the getting started stuff, because while you're getting started, you're skipping past all that newbie garbage. How many want to skip past all that newbie garbage right about now? Right? Okay. So guys, I got to tell you something. Old habits die hard. And what I mean by that is that if you're thinking small, you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get $10,000? Take a breath, because first of all, I'm going to make it better for you. But more than that, you're going to find a way. How do businesses stay in business? If they're having a cash flow issue, they find a way. You will find a way. Okay, this is not for everybody for 2 reasons. Number one, you actually got to do something. We do most everything, but you got to give us the 4 pieces of content. Okay, you got to tell us where you want them to go and what your objective is so we can meet that need. That's the have to thing. Okay, now if this is important to you, yes, no matter what it costs, you'll find a way to do it. You'll find a way to do it. Okay, otherwise you'll just find excuses, and people do that all day long. Robert says amen, so that says I do, right? So you're going to be absolutely thrilled with the results that happen. And when you start seeing people engaging you, you start seeing people giving you accolades, it's amazing. I'll tell you what, it's fascinating to me. When you work online, very often you really don't know the effect that you have on other people. And you may get some emails now and then, and I get a bunch of emails from people, and that's nice to have. But it's really amazing and thrilling when you go to a live event, for example. I was walking down the halls in Traffic and Conversion Summit about a month or so ago, and someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, Ken, I love you." And it wasn't a pretty girl that was single. It was a gentleman that had been on our list and still is on our list for a number of years, who loves our stuff, loves our webcasts, loves our content, loves what we do, loves how we advocate for it, for him and for you, loved it. And he was like, "Oh, I love your emails. I mean, thank you for what you do." That's an exciting experience. And I asked him his name. I knew his name because I've seen him on webinars, but never met him. It's a fun thing. So the impact that you'll make will make you super, super, super duper proud. Who has this worked for? Guys, here's the thing. If you're just starting your business, it's a great way to just jump over all the hurdles and get positioned as an expert. If you want to be a best-selling author, holy mackerel, I see no better way to do this, okay? And by the way, our team has built best-selling program. We're actually going to offer a bestseller program that'll be a little bit different than this, just geared for best-selling books. Okay, this is also perfect for people that want to expand their business, people that are frustrated with their progress, and for people that want to diversify their income stream so that if what they've done is one piece of marketing, this takes them to a different place and it actually makes things safer for their business, much safer for their business, right? So that's super cool. What if you give more than 4 pieces to start with? Well, based on the way the plan's set up, Robert, we work with 4, but we'll talk about how that'll best suit you. You can go with a bigger plan. We're just really just talking about the smaller plan here, the entry level plan, and then as it grows, you just amplify it. So that's how it'll work out. Okay, we'll work with 4. We'll pick the best 4 for the moment. And then again, as I said, if you want to upgrade it to a different size plan, we're totally okay with doing that. Okay, great question. Guys, when you do this, you're ahead of the curve. Yes, you're ahead of the curve, as a matter of fact. I didn't talk about comedy as content. But you know what? Think about this for a second. How many of you guys fly Southwest Airlines? Their branding is comedy. That's their content. Their content is comedy. I'll give you another one. Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines used to be, in the old days, one of the most stuffy, boring companies I've ever seen. Delta has been transformed over the past 10, 15 years into a pretty trendy airline in the United States. Their safety announcement is fantastic and silly and great because people watch it. I think they learned a lot from Air New Zealand. Air New Zealand actually did a safety announcement and some advertising with their people that had body paint. They were naked with body paint. It was brilliant. Why do I say that? Because that's content as well. Because they're providing value in the content that engages people and gives them action, like fastening their seatbelt, and again captures attention. It's not just about sell. It's about let's have fun together. So fun can be your brand. Really cool. And that puts you years ahead of the curve and years ahead of the pack. Absolutely. So guys, here's the thing I do want you to know. I did have 2 choices. We could have gone ahead and made this thing as cheap as possible to sell as many as we could. But the thing is, if you do that, quality suffers. Okay, and we really could have. It wouldn't have allowed us to stack the value. Second option, which requires a higher investment, as you can see, it's higher than we normally will offer on a webinar. But in exchange, we can devote the resources to guarantee your success. There is a lot of time that goes into this program. I mean, I think about this for a second. Taking 4 pieces of content and converting it into 69 and doing that within 30 days, that's a lot of work. And then getting it all posted on a regular basis evenly throughout a month, so that way you don't have everything going bananas on the first couple days and then crickets thereafter. Scheduling it out and then engaging people, that's a lot of work. And our engagement service, Facebook ROE, that's done in the United States. So we're talking about Americans doing that. And I'm not holding a flag right now, but the point is that the cost of doing that with US-based people is significantly more than putting somebody on that's in India, for example. Okay, so the choice was cheap or quality. and I want you to have quality. So that's why we went with the second option. Okay, just really that simple. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get, in addition to the actual service that we talked about, you're going to get access to our 2 strategic social media master classes that Gina and I did. So you're going to get SS1, SSN1, SS2. It's a $496 value. Now, during these master classes, you're going to hear so many strategies from multiple trainers, not just from Gina and I, but from, I'm going to say, 8 or 9 different experts on specific areas of social media, okay, and specific areas and how you can deploy them and implement them in your business right away, okay? Real powerful, real helpful, real helpful. And Gina, at any point you want to pop in to add some color here, you're totally cool with that. I'm not having any problem with you jumping in.
About 20 hours in each one, and it's not the how-to kind of stuff that you often see in info products. This is truly the strategic social media masterclass. It's that high-level picture of how does social play a role in growing your business in a way that gives you way more leverage than what.
I hope you guys can hear Gina because she has disappeared.
Done for you by helping you to manage all of it yourself.
Yeah, it's huge. But we're just getting warmed up now, you guys. And if you think this sounds good, wait till you see what comes next. Now we have the Content and Course Creation Masterclass, and that's something that we created at the Institute. It's a $497 value. It was a multi-day program, again with multiple speakers, all designed to help you build your content, convert it into a course, and profit from it. Now, I'll tell you what, that's just another way to put your content out there. And if you think about it, think about the people that have put content on Udemy, for example, that are making a lot of money. You can just take, for example, if you had a Udemy course, you could take that one course and convert that into, oh gosh, hundreds of different content assets. Giant. This will show you how to do that. And again, you'll be able to leverage that with how-to strategies and systems. You're going to get access to that as well. You're also going to get a very special session that we're going to do with Justin Popovich called Instant Product Leverage. And the cool thing about the Instant Product Leverage training we'll be doing, a workshop that we're doing, is that Justin is a brilliant marketer and brilliant at creating high-quality content that he licenses to you that you can rebrand, redeploy, and call your very own, which is a much nicer way of saying PLR, private label rights. Most PLR stuff is junk. Justin's is fantastic. And so you're going to get to hear how you can leverage that material, call it your own, leverage that out, and have that make you a ton of money. Really cool stuff. So you're going to get that also. We love Justin. He has some amazing material. But I'll tell you, the thing that you're going to want to get started with, I would say first, is Motivation to Profit. Motivation to Profit was produced by Gina, Jack, and Direction University's amazing faculty. And they are totally amazing. Love them to pieces, especially the guy who did session 10 in Motivation to Profit. There's multiple sessions of content, all of which are fantastic. But session 10 is absolutely the most incredible, best ever for anything you'll ever hear. That's a $497 value. And Gina, you can jump in on that one and tease all you want as I talk about session 10 of Motivation to Profit. Because it's the material is
there's
just
about
fantastic.
45 lessons altogether in Motivation to Profit. Each one is an hour long, and each one is arranged the same way. You get the training. Some people want to listen, and some people want to watch. While the training piece is amazing, I think the most incredible part of the course is that for every 1 hour training, you then get the action steps on how to implement it immediately in your business. And again, this isn't the how-to stuff that's typically put out there. This is the stuff that's really going to help you work on your business, not in your business. We even talk about how you can apply what you've learned by using other people and growing your team to actually get it accomplished, so that you can keep focusing on the revenues and doing good in the world. My favorite part of the course is a call we do every week on Wednesdays that we call our hug seat. And if you could hear some of the comments people have made about hug seats, they are incredible. Every week we have one person that volunteers to be the focus of a 2-hour webinar. We look at who they are as a person, where they're at right now in their business, where they want to be in the next 1 to 3 years and beyond, first in their life, second in the difference they want to make, and third, we then come back and address what does business look like when it's helping you live the life you've always wanted to live and do the good you always wanted to do. When we design business in that order, business looks very, very different. And we're looking for how can you get the biggest possible results with the fewest number of steps in the least amount of time. You'll leave that call with a concrete action plan for how to apply the whole plan that we just built together. Not only will you get the live calls, you'll also get 9 years worth of recordings. There are hug seats from just about every kind of business you can imagine, some online, some offline, some for-profit, some non-profit. Just about every single niche we've done at least one or more hug seats with. And they really are going to help you really find direction quickly.
Yeah.
Ken, any comments about hug seats?
Oh, yes. In fact, I am now unmuting someone who's done a hug seat with us recently who loves them. In fact, he's popped in the chat and said, amazing program. Hey, Robert.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. So tell us about.
Yeah, the motivations to profits. There's nothing on the internet like it. I mean, this is taking you by the hand and guiding you step by step through whatever question you might have about internet and marketing. It's a priceless program.
Yeah.
It certainly really changed your world, hasn't it, Robert?
Oh yeah. I mean, what you learn each day is just amazing. I mean, it's just like, oh, I learned so much today, and then the next day you learn even more, and it's like it just keeps snowballing.
Yeah, it's
and the people
I'm
are awesome.
so proud of you for really applying all that you're learning, Robert. It very much shows in your business.
Well, I love the guidance I'm getting from the whole faculty and everything. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's like a big family.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Robert. And that's why we call it a hug seat, not a hot seat.
Yep.
It really is a hug seat.
Yeah, it totally
really is informative.
It totally is. And you're taking what you've learned and you've applied that into your business, especially with the engagement level of it. And you're having a great time on Facebook now, aren't you? Can you hear me? Robert?
I'm sorry. No, I can hear you now, but my computer connection keeps breaking up. I have an issue with
No, I think it's
cable
Ken.
company.
I don't think it's you.
Oh,
okay. There we go again. No,
he broke up for me too.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying, Robert, your level of engagement on Facebook has grown dramatically too, hasn't it?
Oh, thousands of times. I mean, the figures we get on the improvements from week to week it just blows my mind.
What is I don't have the numbers, so why don't you just share real quickly what kind of numbers you've seen from when you started the engagement process with Facebook ROE, which by the way is part of for those of you listening, is part of this program. What have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at ridiculous figures of 1,000% improvement on some of the figures, and each week it goes up 1,000%, 100 and some percent, and it's always going up, and that's the direction I like to see is everything's going up. More engagements, more page views, more page likes, and so forth.
That's awesome. We're really excited about it, and I'm going to give you a little heads up right now. My plan was to get with you sometime next week or the week after and interview you so we can actually do a case study on what you're doing. So be ready, my friend.
I'm ready.
And just so everybody understands, Robert's in his first month. We're not talking he's been at this for months and months. This is his first month, about 3 weeks right now.
Yep.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna
Thank you, guys.
anything else you want to add real quick before we move on?
I don't have anything other to add. It's just, you know, priceless program.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robert.
We're thrilled to have you. Okay, cool. Let me press on then here. We got a lot to do. Thank you, Robert. Glad you're here. Okay, so continuing on, we're also going to do something super duper special for you for the first 10 people. And what we're going to do for you is give you multiple one-on-one conversion strategy sessions. Okay, now here's why. We're customizing this entire program for you and for your business. So when I talk to you about really giving you solid quality and doing this the right way, that's what we're doing. And we budgeted multiple strategy session meetings, and Gina's going to run most of them. And Gina ain't cheap, okay? So we set this up so that she could put her time, energy, and effort. And I'll be on some of them as time permits. My travel schedule will sometimes get in the way of my being able to be there. So Gina's going to be running these with you to specifically help guide your business to the direction and the destination you want it to go. That's huge. It is a $1,000 plus value that is included for the first 10 of you that say, yes, I want to be here. So let me summarize this for you right now. Okay, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 3 months of Content Leverage Lab services. Okay, that's a $10,000 value with a $497 setup fee on top of that. That's all we talked about, from taking that content, multiplying it, amplifying it, and getting it out into the blogosphere, and all the engagement experience that you just heard Robert talking about. You're going to get the strategic social media masterclasses, which is a $496 value, the content and creation masterclass, another $487 value, motivation to profit, oh my gosh, and you'll start with that, frankly. You'll also get the instant profit leverage training, and the multiple strategy sessions of $1,000 plus value. Total value of that is nearly $13,000. Yours today for just $99.97 and the $497 one-time setup fee. Let me ask you a final question here. If you made the annual income that we've been talking about today, okay, and I'm talking about whether it's the 7 figures or the 6 figures, would it be worth investing 10 grand to make just a 6-figure income, assuming you had the money? If money wasn't an object, the answer, of course, is yeah, absolutely, right? So what that means, and that's awesome, right? It means that you want this no matter what. It's just a matter about the investment and if you can afford it, or how are you going to find the money. And you know what? Finding the money part, for most people, Robert says it's a no-brainer. Celeste says yes. Yeah, I mean, bottom line, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Hey, Haroon. So Haroon's here too. Great. So guys, if all this did for you was help blast past the $10,000 a month income threshold, that's what all the gurus, we always talk about $10,000 a month. Well, that should be nothing. Would it be worth it? Sure would. If it got you focused and set up with a successful business much faster, would it be worth it? Absolutely. If it made you self-confident with a higher profitable business that you could be proud of and not just be feeling ashamed that you haven't reached it and you've still been a newbie after all these years, as I used to do, would it be worth it? Gosh, the ability to be proud and have your family proud of you and have your friends stop asking when you're going to get a real job and say, how can I do this? Holy mackerel. I think the best revenge is success. Right? The best revenge is success. So guys, how much have you paid so far for your online education? We looked at this before, right? Thousands upon thousands of dollars, and some of you have indicated even on the chat privately that you've been ripped off for a lot more than that. What's that returned for you over the years, right? That ROI was RO bad. So it's time to now leverage that education and the training that you got and turn that into money. So you can see why it's a great deal at $99.97. But guys, we love you. We know you're special, and we want to help you. So here's what we're going to do. Because you're here right now, and this is the first time we're offering this. This week is the first time we've ever offered this entire program. Robert came in on the Facebook ROE program which is a component. That's the leverage, that's the engagement program that's part of this package, okay? You're going to get a massive discount. It's not going to be $99.97 for you. Okay, the animation's off on this. It's going to be $79.97. You're getting a $2,000 discount, instant discount right now when you get started with this. So to sum it all up, you're getting the 3 months of the Leverage Lab services, 3 solid months, you guys. 3 solid months, a quarter of the year. You're going to get the master classes. You're going to get the leverage training. You're going to get motivation to profit. You'll start with your hug seat immediately. You'll get that scheduled, super important for you and for your success. Then you'll get into the strategy sessions with Gina and or I. Total value, $13,000, $8,000 today, plus your $497 setup fee. But we are not done. By the way, go to iboostify.com for those of you that are ready to jump in right now. iboostify.com/CLL-join. Aha, Chris has already put it in the chat for me. Thank you, Chris. But you're also going to be getting thousands upon thousands of dollars in great bonuses. And I mean great bonuses. Let me take you through them. First one is 1 month of free virtual assistance from our friend Davin Michaels at 123 Employee. You are going to want someone to help you. Now, they're not going to write content for you. No, because these guys are in the Philippines and they're amazing. But they'll help you get your business operating very, very smoothly. So you'll have 1 month of, it's about 10 hours of the VA to help you. You're also going to get a year of Gina's favorite software in the world, iBoostify SiteWrap. SiteWrap was Gina's brainchild. We executed it, and boy, oh boy, it's phenomenal. What it does, just a little bit of what it does, is it will get your JVZoo links to work on Facebook, which they don't work right now because Facebook doesn't like them. It allows you to keep your brand solid and stable on your own website, and you can bring any other content into your website while your own brand still shows on every single page. You don't have to lose your customer when you are sending them like through a blog post outside your website. You can keep them on your site with all that content. It's huge. It improves the time on site. It creates a love fest with Google, because when Google sees people on your website going to multiple pages, that's what they want to see, and they reward you with a great placement on the Google platform, okay? And that's just for starters. There's so much more to it. Did you want to add anything to that, Gina?
I do. It even gives you a way when you're promoting other people's products as an affiliate to be able to drop retargeting cookies, to build funnels out of affiliate products, and oh, so much more. It really is a phenomenal, phenomenal tool. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so fantastic. So you'll get a full year of SiteWrap. It's a $564 value. So to sum it all up, you guys, you have everything you see on the screen. It's just huge. It's a $13,698 value. Yours today for $79.97. But I'll tell you what's going to be really so cool about this is this. If you are in the United States and have a U.S. PayPal account, you can get PayPal to be your big daddy and let them pay for it for you. Let them finance it for you. PayPal has a great financing program. It's called PayPal Credit. And depending upon whatever promotion they have right now, it could be you pay it over 6 months, or you pay no payments for 6 months, or whatever they're offering. It's super easy. It's better than a credit card, and it's just fantastic. So let PayPal do the financing for you. If you need financing, PayPal Credit may be just the answer that you want. And you'll see that when you get to enroll. So PayPal Credit, fantastic, super good. You'll see it again on the registration page to get signed up. But we are just getting warmed up. We're still not done yet. There is more. There is more. You're also going to get bonus number 3, which is an exclusive bundle of premium rebrandable, okay, licensed content from Justin. And here's the beautiful thing about this. You're getting things that are, what's the word I'm looking for here? Personal development. That's what I'm looking for. And the cool thing about personal development is that you can take all of this and use it in just about every niche on the planet, because everybody wants to keep calm and reduce stress, right? Everybody does. Whether you're training a horse, or you're learning to swim, or you're an internet marketer, or you're trying to date, definitely keeping calm and reducing stress is important. Procrastination. Those are the kind of things that everybody can use. So we can take and utilize this content, if you don't have any content at all, to be the foundation of your 4 pieces of content for the first month or 2. Okay? So that bonus will help you a lot. That's $150 value. You'll have that. And then the 4th bonus is the ability to join our partner license program, which is a $2,000 value. You'll be able to earn recurring income for life on all of our content services products at iBoostify. That means that when you can offer this to your friends, you can offer some of the other things that we're coming out with, and they pay out very nicely. So as an example, as a member of a partner license program, you can earn commissions of $4,000, $6,000 or more per year per client for as long as they're clients. That's giant. Guys, I mean, it's amazing. And all you got to do is tell your friends. So here's what you're getting. You're getting everything you see on the left-hand side of the screen. It's nearly a $16,000 value. You're going to save nearly $8,000, and it's just $79.97 plus the setup fee. Okay, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. Go to CLL-join, iBoostify.com/CLL-join. Consistency, as I said, is the key, which is why we have you on board for 3 months at the very beginning. Why? Because that's ramp-up period. Think about how bamboo grows. Bamboo grows, people think, very quickly, but it only goes very quickly until after the root system has worked underground where nobody can see. So you plant a bamboo seed, for example, and you're wondering, where is that bamboo tree? Where is that bamboo tree? But because all the work takes place below ground. When it's ready, bam, it pops up and it grows fast. And that's what we're going to do here. So you have to have the consistency, and that 3 months of the way we set it up guarantees that consistency. It's super duper important so you can ramp up. Okay. As I said, this is not for everybody. This is definitely not for Joe Average. Joe Average is going to say, oh, I can't do it. I can't find the money. I can't, all this stuff. We're not interested in that. We want to work with the superheroes. If you're a superhero, we want to work with you. How many of you guys are superheroes? Tell me I'm a superhero. You can put that in the chat. That's a good thing, by the way, to actually say, because it does help you a lot. You feel really good and you'll smile. So we want superheroes. And what that means is that we want to make sure that there's a match too. Okay? We want to make sure that this is going to work for you and this is going to work for us, and we'll enjoy the process of working with you. So here's what we're going to do. You are actually going to apply to become part of this program. Well, you're not going to pay $8,000 today. It's just going to be a $500 refundable deposit. You'll get on a call with Gina and I. We'll spend about 30 minutes together, and we'll determine whether this makes sense or doesn't make sense for you. If it makes sense, we'll get it done. If it doesn't make sense, we'll refund you $500, and you'll go on with your life and do whatever you're doing right now. But if it does make sense, we will then get you all set up to go. We'll look at getting your hug seat scheduled, and we will get ready to kick some serious butt to get you along the way. Does that make sense? So all you're going to do today is you're not spending $8,000 today. You're just putting a simple $500 refundable deposit down to get on a call with Gina and I. We want to know you're serious. That $500 will apply 100% directly to your fees for the Content Leverage Lab for your first 3 months. So to kind of put it all together, you're getting everything you see here on the screen, but I'm going to give you one more thing. What's that? I'm going to waive that setup fee. When you get yourself scheduled today for the call with Gina and I, okay, you put down that $500 deposit, refundable deposit today at iBoostify.com/CLL-join. It's in the chat. When you do that, we will waive the setup fee, totally waive another $500 for you. We'll waive it. So now you have two choices, you guys. The first option is to do nothing and not take a very, very safe leap of faith, okay? And you'll continue along the same path that you're doing right now, which, quite frankly, we see people do all the time, and they repeat over and over. They continue to come back and year after year in the same place. It's very frustrating for us as coaches. Or you can do the better option, which is to invest in yourself right now with this very small investment. $500 right now is all it's going to take to talk to us about how we can work together to make it work. And if we need to work out any kind of payment plan, we'll work that out on the phone together. Okay. If you need and you want to increase the plan size to do more content, for example, like you want to do, Robert, we can have that conversation as well. Just give us a shot. We'll get it working for you. So it's entirely up to you. When it works fantastic for you, terrific. You'll renew and we'll just continue to build your business. If not, you let us know, we cancel. So totally safe. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and apply right now. Put your $500 deposit down. Remember, fully refundable at iBoostify.com/CLL-join. Okay? Because the real question is this, you guys. Is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check it out with Gina and I, which, by the way, even if it does half of what we talked about during this workshop, will more than pay for itself? Okay? The answer to that should be pretty obvious, shouldn't it? I see someone saying no brainer here. Okay, guys, other opportunities cost you money and time. With Content Leverage Lab, we give you back your time and you make a lot more money. You get that. Okay, so that's the whole thing right there. We do it effectively 99% for you. You just give us the 4 pieces of content each month and we take it from there, and you get to have fun. So that's what I got for you guys. How many of you guys have questions? How many of you guys want to get on the call with us? Just talk to me now. Let's see if we can answer some questions before we set off. Any questions here? And Gina, anything you want to add on this?
Do it now, guys. You could be Robert next month.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert's pretty excited. I'm very proud of him. And guys, Robert's just involved. We haven't even offered the Content Leverage Lab before. This is the first time we've actually offered that. Robert came into just one piece of it. We've now tripled the actual reach of the program with this whole new piece. So you guys have the opportunity to be part of a much bigger whole. You'll get everything that Robert got and a whole lot more. So yeah, I'm seeing Tim is signing up. That's great. Joe says he's putting in his deposit. Fantastic. So I've got 8 more spots. We can, again, because of the size of what we're doing for you, we can really only accommodate a certain number of people at any one time to onboard them, just because of the fact that there's a lot of work that's being involved over here. So Sally says she's coming in. That's great. Congratulations. So I don't see any other questions in here, though. I don't see any other. Are there any other questions I'm missing? Looks like I don't see any other questions here either. I guess we answered all of them. Are there any questions that you see, Gina? I think we're good.
I can't see questions, remember?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Okay, great. Well, then I don't see any more either. Okay. So, guys, thank you. Oh, hang on a second. Perfect. Great. Robert, this is another great webinar. Congratulations. Thank you. No worries. Robert, excellent. Yeah, we'll set something up within the next week or so, because I do want to do a case study with you for our upcoming webinars. People are going to love hearing what you're doing, and I want to hear more details as well. I'm getting all sorts of emails from the team about how proud they are of you. So we're very excited about that. So you guys, thank you all so much for joining us. If you've not gone into to get your spot, I recommend you do it now. It looks like there's only about 5 places left right now. So do it right now while you can, and we'll look forward to our call with you to see whether this is the perfect thing for you, as we suspect it probably will be, and I know you do too. So thanks again, Gina. Thank you so much for spending your Friday afternoon with us. We appreciate that. Thank you all. Thank you, Robert, for sharing. Thank you guys for coming. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.